Hey, it's Tom from the CT Wire Prep Factory and the Tycoon Network. Doing a video today in our back shop. CT Wire Prep is made up of three separate, well, they're all under one roof, but three separate rooms. And we're in the back part of the factory right now where we do most of our woodworking and our welding and just assembly of jigs and fixtures, special projects, that sort of thing. And so today we're going to show you a little bit of a project that we have to do, and we'll show you our welding equipment and a little bit of the back room, I guess, too, as you know, it'll be in the background and just various things that are going on. We have our selfie stick here, so I'm not really sure how this is going to pan out or work. We've got the phone, my Android hooked into it. It's a Sony, and one of the problems that I first discovered right here, just with this, go into this real quick, is the buttons on the Sony are up on top here, and I think there's none on the bottom, but this is to turn the phone on and off, and then there's the camera, and I'm not even sure what that button's for, but anyways, it's for something. And so yeah, I had to offset the thing to the side so that I wouldn't be pushing buttons. Which is, something maybe they didn't think of when they built this thing. But anyways, what I'm going to do with this video is I'm going to use this camera as well. You're looking at me on the GoPro right now, Hero 3. And so we're going to use this camera, and I'm not sure if I can video, audio, separate, edit it so that when I'm using the video off of this camera, I'll be able to pick up the audio, because the audio is on my lapel mic here, which is being fed to the Hero. So I don't know, we'll find out. It's all a learning curve, right? So anyways, we'll get into the video now about what we're going to do, and we're going to weld a little piece here on a special project that we're doing that I can't really divulge too much because it's going to be a crowdfund project. So we're just building it right now. We always, want to build one mock-up so that we can actually do the crowdfund. And so, yeah, so we're just going to show you how, things about the factory and welding in particular. So here we are in the back shop, and this is our MIG welder. This particular one is a Miller-Matic, so it's made by Miller, which is a common name in North America for, very high quality MIG welders. I think this thing at the time, we got a wasp coming in here. Oh man, once in the video. Anyways, I think we paid around 3,000 bucks for this, Canadian, so whatever that is. At that time, I think the Canadian dollar was like even lower than it is now, like maybe 69, 70 cents to the US dollar. So anyways, they're about 3,000 bucks, give or take. So yeah, this particular one can do aluminum as well as steel. Can do stainless steel, that kind of stuff. You just have to change out the gases for the actual, whatever you're going to do, and of course the wire. And yeah, this is the end of it right here. And of course a cord, that goes into the thing. You always want to make sure this cord, when you're welding, doesn't have any like loops in it and stuff, because there's a wire going through and getting pushed out right here. I don't know if you can see the video. I'll come up a little closer, and then maybe you can see it. It's this particular one, it almost looks like a copper wire, but it's not. It's some kind of steel. And then what happens when you push the trigger, the gas that's in that tube back there comes out here and gets rid of the oxygen around what you're welding, and so it makes a nice weld. And you can kind of tell that when you weld. It's just the way it is. We actually opened the door here. We're in the back shop, so we're kind of using natural light, kind of testing that out, see how it works. That's why I'm squinting a little bit. It's so bloody bright out there in the sun. I might turn the camera around at some point and show you, but I think the camera will actually maybe just be one big white thing or something. I don't know. And we're also got our selfie stick that we're going to shoot some video at the same time as well. I'm not sure if I can use the audio off of this with the lapel mic and put it on that video. Probably can somehow. I'm not a guru, so something I'll have to learn. I use VideoPad Editor, so we'll see if they can do that or not, because I know they separate the tracks on it. So all kinds of things to learn. Anyways, back to the MIG welder. Yeah, so this is the auto darkening helmet we have that we use, which you just put it on your head, and when you push the button, this is really bright, right? Like it flashes, it's brighter than the sun. So you don't want to hurt your eyes. So you have to have this as protection to your eyes, and what it does is just shuts down all light basically, and the only thing you can see is the weld. Now you can get manual ones where you got to flip them down and then weld. There's some guys prefer them. I prefer this one. This thing was about I think 150 or 200 bucks back in the day. I probably need a new there's like plastic liners here. This one's getting pretty scratched up, but I'm going to use it anyways, and I'm just going to shine it up a little bit. There we go. So yeah, that's back on there. It's actually going to be my son Chris welding this piece that we need done, and so we'll get to that in a second. I'm just making sure, you know, that if you have never MIG welded before, believe me, it's scary, but it's not. I was really surprised. I actually started another business with the MIG welder. This is my second MIG welder. I had to sell that one because I sold the business. Was making these portable signs that you could rent out along the roadside that companies would rent out. This is a big thing in North America, at least in our area in Canada, where they're like black billboard signs with coroplast letters. So, you know, I set all that up and did that many years ago, and then I sold the business off, and sold the business off, and yeah, sold the MIG welder with it because they needed it because they were making metal frames. So we're going to show you a little bit of, you know, some other projects here in the back shop here, in our kind of like our mock-up shop with, I don't know what you'd call it, but it's kind of the industrial arts shop where you're doing woodwork, metal, welding. You know, I have my mill over there. So that kind of stuff. Anything that's kind of like dirty, we keep it in the back of the shop because you got messes to clean up when you do this kind of stuff. And also special projects. So this is the aluminum gun, and you'd have, you see here, this is full of aluminum wire, and it does the same thing, but the gas comes out, you know, it's a different gas that you have to hook up at the back here, and this is an auto feeder too, so that feeds the wire. And yeah, basically it. So the tank is separate. We paid a one-time fee for the tank at a company that's in southern Ontario. I don't know how far they stretch across the world or not, but that tank, you pay, I think it's 225 or 250 bucks, and it's a full tank, and then it's, I think, 125 or 150 buck deposit on it or something. So originally when I got this thing, I bought this from a place called Praxair, and you had to rent the tanks. You could never get the tanks, at least not in my area. So I wound up finding this place because we were paying, like, I think it was 150 bucks every year just to have the tank, whether you used it or not. And when we didn't have the sign business anymore, it was kind of like we hardly used it. Like, we don't use this a whole lot, just for mocking up projects or if we need some kind of special jig or fixture in our manufacturing operation. So it's not used near as much, but I really didn't want to not have one. After you get one of these things and you actually play around with it a bit, you can fix your cars. Like, I fixed the exhaust system on a couple of cars now. Just, you know, it doesn't take long. You can just weld the things together, and it's so much better and easier. So yeah, just, you know, things like that. Instead of trying to nut and drill holes and bolt things together and all that, this baby here just makes it so quick and easy. So if you have never MIG welded, give her a shot. If you know somebody who's got one of these things, get them to teach you how to use it. This is like an indispensable thing for a manufacturing operation where you're building something and you have jigs and fixtures. So yeah, don't be afraid of these things. They look scary, you know, with all the flashes and the sparks and everything, but it really isn't. I was really surprised. I thought you were going to get all burned and everything, but I mean, the first time I did it, I have a jacket for this thing, and like that we wear with long sleeves, and then you wear these gloves right here, and they pretty much cover you up to there. But I've gotten so used to it, it doesn't bother me, you know, because I know it's not, you know, it's scarier than it looks. So, you know, I even do it with, you know, shorts on and stuff. I have jeans on today, but my son's going to do the welding, and he's got shorts on, and it's not going to be a big deal. And we're not doing a big long weld either. We're just welding a bolt to a bolt, and I'll show you that in a minute here. Okay, so just give me a second to pause the video, and we'll fade in or fade out and fade into the next segment. Okay, I think we're recording on that one. Yeah. camera in the right spot. This is Chris. He's going to do some welding here, and I have to help him out a little bit. What the hell's that noise? Oh, one of them bloody things outside. Okay, so let me get a glove on, and we're going to weld this bolt. I'm going to try and stay out of the way of the video, but I don't know how well we're going to do here. All right, so I'm just going to put my finger on there, right?
Should be good right there?
Yeah, I had it all set up. Okay, so I'm just looking away. There you go. See all the sparks? They don't even hurt. Look, he's got shorts on. Okay, it's tacked, right?
Yep.
We're looking nice and straight. All right. That's really all we got to do. That was the job, believe it or not. That's he can do the underside of it a little more.
Yeah.
But now that it's tacked on, this is actually on pretty strong, believe it or not. But what we're going to do is I'm just going to flip it up here. You kind of got some there, but I think you need some weld. Now we can't show this, but
let's do it the other way. Flip it up this way.
Which way? That way? Okay. All right, so I'm just going to grab the camera here for a second. Just hang on, Chris. Let me move the camera. And you can see we're tacked on the top side, but if you look in here, there's a little, sorry, right there. It's pretty hot. You don't want to touch it with your hand. But you can see a gap there. Okay, so he's going to touch it there and there. So I'm just going to back off now. I don't have to hold anything, and he's going to do his thing. Okay, now we can't see it because of his head, but all right, go for it. Oh, didn't make it. Is the ground clamp off? No, it's on.
No, it's just hard to get that angle.
Okay, sorry for all the jerkiness, but that's life. And of course, the wire's wrapped around. Okay, there we go. All right. That hurt?
Pretty good, yeah.
All right, we're good. So that is, you know, just a little MIG welding job. Nothing spectacular, but when you're doing little jigs and fixtures, you need to have a MIG welder. Okay, and now he's just going to put it away. I'm just going to tilt the camera back up there. And yeah, he takes the ground clamp off. You see wires are getting mixed up here and everything else. So that's it for this video for today. We just wanted to show you the MIG welder. Actually, what I'll do is I'm just going to show you the back shop a little bit, give you a little bit of a tour once I can find out what I did with the remote control to shut the camera off. Here, I'll turn it off with my fingers. One of the problems we have, yeah, thanks, Chris. One of the problems we have, am I recording? Yes, I am. One of the problems we have with this camera, it's not the camera so much as it's the audio. This is the receiver, and of course the microphone is on me with the, I'll show you around back here. Yep, there it is. And yeah, so we've got it plugged in on a long extension cord right now. So if I was to use my selfie stick, which you see standing up there, and my cell phone over there that we tried, I didn't know, we're doing a little bit of a experiment here, so I better remember I leave that sucker right there. Okay, so just a quick look around the shop here. I'm going to carry this thing with me and try and not disconnect the extension cord. You can see yesterday, these are barrels of wire, 6 barrels of wire, 10,000 feet in each barrel. I just came into the factory yesterday because we have a job that we have to cut that stuff up. So we'll use all that stuff up. But this is kind of like my little bit of laboratory here, mad scientist place. So I'm just going to pan around. This is a project you can see right here that we're into energy. There's a car going by out in the parking lot. But we're into energy, and this is a little device here that we welded up on a frame. And that's actually what we welded just in the start of this video is part of this machine. And that's one thing that we're going to crowdfund for once we get it built. And you can see there's my table saw over there, our tow motor, all indispensable tools. This little guy right here is, I'm not sure if I get the whole thing in. Let me just do a spinorama, okay? Because I got wires that are crossed. Crazy. This is actually part of a much larger what do you call it? Golf cart train. a trackless train basically. And it's made up of golf carts, and we purchased this thing because we want to manufacture this, okay, and set people up in businesses with their own, you know, trackless train. And we actually are going to be making cartoons out of this, and we want to crowdfund, because we actually have a cartoon made now from a fellow who's really good at it, and it's getting dusty sitting here. The other 5 cars are in storage right now, and because we have our building up for sale and we have an offer on it now, we want to move closer to home in a bigger facility. We have to wait on this project. So right beside it, where my cell phone is sitting on, is another machine that we welded up, which will color wire and stripe wire, which is, you know, something inside our factory that we need to do. We had a very old machine that was pretty much burned out and outdated, so, and we couldn't get parts for it, so I made this one, and I did the electrical side of it, the control box and motors and all that stuff. So it's working. It's just I don't have room right now, and I got to finish the oven section off where the wire gets dried. So again, waiting on stuff. But what happens back in this section here, okay, and I'll just pan around again, is when we do solar projects, this whole floor is taken up with skids and packing and all that stuff. So I have to basically put all these tools away, and you'll see I'm going to just shine up. We put things away. There's another table saw up there. That's an old bugger that it works, but I wouldn't use it for anything that you'd want to have any kind of precision on. That's our man lift for our tow motor, so we can get up at the ceiling when we do work up at the ceiling, like putting in lights and things like that. Just a lot of cardboard. We need a lot of boxes for stuff we ship. There's some wire stored up there, slow-moving wire, and on that, this is a mezzanine, this yellow thing up here. We put a lot of old equipment and equipment that doesn't get used a lot up there. And storage, we got a lot of racking and shelving that's in behind all that cardboard box stuff that you see up on the mezzanine. And you know, another project I have up on there is a go-kart. I have more of a sandrail than a go-kart. It's hidden in the back there, believe it or not. So another project that I'll probably finish off when I get more time. Every time we do a solar project, like I said, this whole shop back here gets kind of, everything got to be put away, and we have to, you know, and we go for quite a while, and then finally I can get back into doing something again. So right at the moment we're okay, we don't have anything, and that's the other room. We have 3 rooms in CT wire prep, and that room that you're looking at right now with the clock in it, just to the right, you can't see it because of the wall, is where that machine was that we just purchased, that we did a video on, what, 2 or 3 videos ago. And then the bigger room of all of them is up front. There's that's where our presses are. We have the press room. We have the solar wire cutting stations, and the offices, and our little YouTube video making room as well. Washrooms, lunchroom, that kind of thing. And then I'll pan outside. I'm not sure what's going to happen here, but this is our parking lot. We have a front yard. This is the back, more or less, of the factory on a back dead-end street, and we are all surrounded by houses. And that's one of the reasons we're moving as well, because you know, the county that we are residing in here with our factory wants this to be a residential property, so they're all for this guy who's coming in. He's probably going to tear the factory down and set up, I'm going to guess, townhouses. But anyways, that gives you an idea of our back of our factory. I might take a run around to the front, and at some point anyways, and show you that. It's just a yard that I have to cut the damn grass. You know, I'm the CEO, Chief Everything Officer. And so yeah, that's our factory. It's a storage area over to the right of this door. The fence, you can just see a little bit. That goes for quite a ways, and we can hold a lot of skids and spools and empty spools, and just, you know, our lawnmowers in there, our snowblower, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's the factory. So if you like this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and the best thing you could do is join our universal tribe and make the world a better place, because if you help other people, they'll create jobs, and maybe one of your children or your grandchildren or your great-grandchildren will wind up employed in one of them jobs and make a decent living. So yeah, That's it. Have a good one.